Rita Meher. Tasveer Film Festival.
What I built and what I have set out to inspire others, and it's coming full circle. We are the leading South Asian film festival in the world, and we are the only Oscar qualifying South Asian film festival in the world.
And you got the grant.
We got the highest grant, 2.26 million grant. Anywhere I go, people know about it, that we have secured a theater for the South Asian community.
Congratulations on your recent award from the Mayor of Seattle.
Yeah, and I gave that speech. I said, this is the city where every film will find its home. Right before 9/11, while I'm walking down from my work and somebody else had me, go back to your fucking country. So I made a film on that incident, Citizenship 101. My best friend Farah, she also made a documentary after 9/11, Nazra, a Muslim woman's perspective, sending it to festivals, but it didn't get into any place. So that's the genesis of creating Tasveer. I said, you don't want to show it? Let me create a platform.
Everybody is calling this like, oh, films are now a dying medium of storytelling, short attention span creators and content and media that is taking over.
Last year when we launched the market, we thought, okay, we will get some 50 projects for the film market. We got 287 projects.
I'm also seeing a trend, movies that are being made with AI.
I don't fight AI. I think we should use it to make our things better. I'm a very curious learner. Films always fascinated me.
You've always been an optimistic person.
Coming from a small family, survival of the fittest.
When you have nothing, you have optimism.
Yeah.
How would you deal with roadblocks?
Everything that we do takes a village to create something.
So you can envision what you're doing right now can help in the future.
I used to write that. Like one day we will own a theater.
Fight you fought against the caste discrimination here in Seattle.
Being from an indigenous community in India is stigmatized. So when city of Seattle became the first city outside India to ban caste-based discrimination in the workplace, and I was the first testimonial who stood up to talk about my experience.
You are Odia?
Yes, my father was in Air Force, so we moved around a lot every 4 years.
Did you in your childhood have any inspiration?
Not at all, actually. It was quite far from it. Middle class girl going into films, it was a big no-no. Growing up, I felt that I have this scar on the nose, dark little girl. I was really bullied a lot in India. So they had kind of given up on me anyways. I was married. That broke up. It was a taboo thing, divorce.
Absolutely.
So they said, don't come home.
Welcome to yet another episode of Jack of All. And at Jack of All, we celebrate amazing journeys of amazing people who have given life a tough time. Today, I have an individual whose life story and journey is nothing less than a Bollywood movie itself. Her life story is a true testament to resilience, cultural advocacy, and the power of storytelling. Going from dealing with hard cards given by life to forming an organization from grassroots level and raising it to the only Oscar qualifying film festival that is of Southeast Asian diaspora in the world, I would like to welcome on our show Rita Meher. Rita, welcome.
Thank you, Adi. Thank
How
you for
are you
having me.
doing today?
Very good, very good. I'm excited to talk with you.
Me as well. When I learned about your story, I was so excited. I just couldn't contain, when we are going to meet. So I'm super excited for this to, go on. People that I know, I start with a memory of what I remember the first time I met that individual.
Yeah.
So first of all, congratulations on building a thriving community through Tasveer Film Festival, an organization that has given voice to many South Asians, not just filmmakers, but, storytellers, as you identify yourself as. You're many things, an editor, a producer, a filmmaker, I would say now in the future, a film festival organizer, ED of that festival itself. So many things. And congratulations on your recent award from the Mayor of Seattle.
Yes.
Wow. Can you share more about the award?
Yes, the Mayor of Seattle by Bruce Harrell. He presented me with Outstanding Achievement in Film
That is
from City
fantastic.
of Seattle. Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank
And
you.
I want to share how your community that you built over the last couple of decades
Yeah.
through blood, sweat, and tears
Yes.
has helped me, myself, in my own journey
Wow.
here.
Thank you.
So I was one of the first short films that
Yes.
featured in Tasveer Film Festival's Netflix Film Fund
Yes.
category
Yes.
called Paper.
Yes.
And at the same time, I met so many other filmmakers through that organization and through that function that I carried on those relationships over. One of our ex guests,
Yes.
Kalyan Sura, was also part of this show. And we are going to be continuing together to build more movies and,
Wow.
Southeast Asian stories through
Did
that.
you meet him at our Tasveer
Absolutely,
Festival?
that's how we connected.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
And when he was on the show, he said, Tasveer has literally been a life changing event in his life.
Wow.
And from his perspective, I don't think there is anything that has given him more than what Tasveer has done for him.
Oh my
So
goodness.
congratulations
Thank
on
you.
building that and building an organization so big that even yourself, you are not aware of the impact that you're making.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to learn
This should
slowly.
make you very proud.
Yeah, I'm very proud.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And your journey started with very humble beginnings. I would
Yes.
love to deep dive into that as well.
Sure.
First of all, thank you.
Okay.
Not just being a storyteller, but also going a step ahead and building a platform for giving voices for the people that you identify with. With Jack of All, our mission is also to build a community so that we can give a voice to people like you who've built so many platforms for people to tell their
Wow,
story.
this is amazing. I feel very emotional. I think what I built and what I have set out to inspire others, and it's coming full circle for me. So I'm very touched by
Absolutely,
your
and more
acknowledgement.
power to you and Tasveer organization for this.
Thank you.
You started back in India.
Yes.
You are Odia.
Yes, I'm.
By origin?
My parents are from Odisha, though I never lived in Odisha at any stretch point of time in my life. But I would visit every year. My father was in Air Force, so we moved around a lot every 4 years. But yeah, we are of Odia culture.
Amazing. And did you, in your childhood, have any inspiration at proximity that would, tell you one day that you would be into filmmaking or the line of work that you are today?
Not at all. Actually, it was quite far from it because we never saw ourselves from a middle class girl going into films. It was a big no. When I was graduating from high school, we were in Delhi, and Delhi has this National School of Drama. And I was asking my parents if I could join National School of Drama, and they said, well, no, it's a total career suicide.
Wow.
Do anything but that. So I went into arts, went into arts and studied Japanese of all, everything. Yeah.
Wow. So there was inclination from your end.
Yes,
But
always.
very strong discouragement from the family, and maybe
Right.
for good reasons from their side.
Yeah.
But how did you feel as a child? Were you like struggling to suppress your desires or finding new paths? How was it for you?
What I could now say about how I was as a child, I'm a very curious learner. So I'm always interested in interesting things, like something different. So when they didn't let me, back then, 15, 16 years old, and then I didn't have that, okay, I want to go into films as say. Films always fascinated me. I was thinking, oh, maybe I could go join film industry, be in the movies, maybe not as an actress, maybe side actress or something, or a dancer, even anything.
I see.
Background dancer also, or But then when that didn't pan out, I said, okay, what is next? What's the most interesting thing? And then one uncle was visiting us, and he said, oh, there are this opportunity to go to foreign countries or become a translator. And nobody was doing it back then. It was such a foreign idea to become a translator for a company and travel the world. I said, yes, that's what I want to do now, travel the world. So I signed up, went to JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, took the entrance exam, got in, which is a very competitive university.
Absolutely.
I got in, and then got a chance to go to Japan as a study further and work in a city hall as a coordinator for international relation. I fully enjoyed that life. And this part was the film side. No, I was doing some film curation there and showing them Indian
You were?
movies.
Hmm.
I was like, let's show an Indian movie and do a dialogue, curate a dialogue around it. I did that for their community. And yeah, I never had this concrete idea of what I'm doing right now.
I see.
Yeah.
And in terms of performances or performing as an artist, did you ever engage in social activities like dancing on stage with a group of friends or, school drama, acting like that?
Yeah, wherever I got a chance,
You did?
I would raise my hand, whether it's a debate or taking part in the drama or a dance. I would raise my hand. I come from a very big lower middle class family. My parents could never afford for my dance classes. I would say, can I learn some dance? They said no. So I would try to, whatever ways I could get a chance, I would do that. But I also felt that growing up, I felt that I had this stigma about that. I have this scar on the nose, and I felt I was this dark little girl. I felt I didn't get that many opportunities to get on the stage or be a lead actor or in a play or the dances. Always felt I had less opportunity or for being very, very dark and had a scar. I don't know. That was my. Anyway,
so all of this dialogue was going on only in your head, or was this something that you were discussing with, someone that would
how
help
in
you?
India is all those aunts, they will say, oh, nakati, nakat gaya, iski shadi nahi hogi, means you will never get
That
married.
is so bad.
Yeah, I was really bullied a lot in India.
Your confidence would have taken such a hit, right? Before it even formed, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought I was so. I don't want to. I mean, so that doesn't matter to me whether how I look, but I was constantly called ugly. Yeah, so, and dark and all that. So being compared to my sister or any, those.
I see.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, and you've yourself been a forerunner of fighting against prejudice. One of the things that you've done that should be a highlight of your journey is the fight you fought against the caste discrimination here in Seattle. I was planning to bring that up later in part of the show, but I think this would be the right time to sort of understand if that played some part of.
Yeah, that was also there. So on top of that part, how you look, and then there was that part that you shouldn't talk about your caste openly, because we moved around in other cities like Delhi or Gwalior or Bangalore or and people will be coming from all over this country, and they will be our neighbors. So my parents said, don't tell them about your caste. Our caste, we are ST, which means scheduled tribe, and being an indigenous from an indigenous community in India is stigmatized. So it's different in India. Here it's a different thing. So when you're from a tribe or a tribal, it's a big no-no, and you don't tell or share with others. So that was also there. And but I felt I'm going to fight this. Whatever stops me, I would become 2 times bolder to for anything. Whether you think I'm not good looking enough or this or that, don't fit on your drama dance. Never got any opportunity in school, but I always that didn't deter me. Always, I'm very positive person in life. So
Just for some of our non-Indian listeners,
yeah,
scheduled tribes or scheduled caste or the lower
Yeah.
caste in the
Yeah.
caste system of India, the parents would typically discourage you to discuss your caste because that would lead to discrimination
in schools,
socially in school
yeah,
or any other, and then that would deter you or take away opportunities from you
Yeah.
or be subject to bullying and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And I'm
yeah.
pretty sure a lot of those things happen to you as well.
There's a lot of shameful things happen that.
I wanted to um, maybe ask you if this was an inspiration for you to stand against what you did here in Seattle.
So I recently did this when city of Seattle became the first city outside India, first city in the world to ban caste-based discrimination in the workplace, and there has been many cases like in Infosys in California for caste-based discrimination in the workplace. So Kshama Sawant, the city council member, took that stand to create that policy to ban caste-based discrimination in the workplace. And I was the first testimonial who stood up to talk about my experience to the committee, to the council member. And it was, everywhere in the news. And
Thank you so much. You're such an inspirational person because I feel like the stories that need to be told are the stories that don't get to be told. And
Yeah.
to do something, to be able to create a channel, whether it's through your own testimonies of experiences or building a platform for others so that they don't go through what you have been through, tells me a lot about your strong character and the true human spirit that you carry around with yourself,
Thank you.
Rita. Very proud of you.
Thank
And
you.
thanks so much for sharing that. Coming back to something a little lighter.
Yeah, something like
Yeah. Tell me more about Japanese. Why Japanese? Why not Chinese? Why not Korean? Why not anything else?
I asked my uncle who suggested I should do foreign language and travel the world. I said, which language is the hardest one? He said Japanese because it has 3 different scripts and hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And I said, okay, I'm going to study that. So I applied to that. And I love Japanese food, Japanese culture, Japanese films. Who wouldn't love it?
Wow.
You know?
And you spent 4 years there.
Yeah.
What were some of the highlights of you being in Japan? Like a girl who's had tough time in India and then suddenly you find yourself in your adulthood in Japan. How did that unlock a few things about yourself in your own character or in your experience?
Can I share something really funny? I have never shared this, and maybe it would sound very vain. That's the first time I realized I'm not that ugly. People were, they were saying, wow, whatever ways. I start noticing that, I'm fine. So that's the funny thing, the vain thing. So Japan, I find it, anytime I feel like I'm getting bored or getting depressed or need to get a break, want to go to Japan, Kyoto or something. It's just so serene and people are amazing. They love you. They treat you so well.
In Japan, what made you connect back to your film side of yourself in Japan?
When I said that I did the screening and curation of the films, the other thing I started a TV show.
You did start a TV show yourself. Was
With
it a
my friend.
Japanese TV show?
No, with my friend, how to English-speaking TV show I lived in a town. I said, let's teach you English. So we would do small skits, like we are going to a shop and buying something, some clothing, and they say, so we would do a little skit in English and teach those words. Hey, I want to buy this. Then we will explain
I see.
how to say that, and it was so fun. So it's in my LinkedIn bio to working in Bato Machi TV. Yeah, I did that. But my main goal was I was a coordinator for international relations. So I was creating international relations with, say, India or US, and bringing their cultural events and what is called international sister city things. I did camps, and it was such a fun time. It went by so fast. And
Do you wish you had stayed longer in Japan?
no, I think then Tasveer wouldn't have
Yeah,
born.
yeah.
So it's glad
Looking
I
back,
came.
maybe yes, but do you
Yeah.
miss, like, do you go back?
So when I moved here in 1998, I worked for an airline, United Airlines, for a couple of years.
I see.
So I'll trade away all my shift and travel. Okay, this weekend I'm every other weekend or once a month I would go to Japan for just to have a meal or something.
Are you kidding me? That is so fantastic. Wow.
Or meet my friends. And
What cities in Japan have you lived?
Tochigi-ken, Niigata, Tokyo, and would visit Kyoto.
And what was your most memorable experience? In which city was that?
Kyoto.
Kyoto. What did
Yeah.
you like about that?
The beautiful temples,
see.
and you will see geisha there walking around in their kimonos, and you would go to tatami room and restaurants and sit and eat. You would never find any food because Japanese people are so, they believe in perfection of cooking, and every restaurant you go to you will get the best food. There's never like this food is bad.
I see.
Yeah.
So if you check on Google, everyone has 5 stars, maybe.
Maybe maybe it's basically
Wow.
what you don't like, what kind of meals you don't like is the thing, but it's
Amazing.
just
So then
yeah.
what made you move from Japan?
I followed my then boyfriend. He
Okay,
was
so
from
very
Seattle.
Bollywood.
Very
Okay.
Bollywood.
Very Bollywood.
Nothing hero journey or anything.
And you came straight to the US?
Yeah, Seattle.
Seattle?
Yeah, he was from Seattle.
I see.
Yeah.
So that's how you came to Seattle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then what did you do here?
So when I moved here, I couldn't find any Japanese related work. I thought I had a very nice high paying job in the city hall, and I said, "Oh, of course." When I moved here, I'm so good. People couldn't tell when I spoke on the phone. They couldn't tell whether I'm an Indian or a Japanese because my Japanese was that good. So when I came here, I thought, of course, I'll find a job. It's a very Japanese, big Japanese community here, but no, looking like this and Indian, and you speak Japanese and you want to do it what? You want to translate to English? So I couldn't find any good work. So total midlife crisis, relationship broke up, and couldn't find any work. Didn't know where I belong, and all my life I already moved like every few years, and then Japan, then every 4 years, right? Japan was then 4 years, then I moved here. I said, okay, time to move. So I was thinking that this is where I will put my roots down. And then when everything went south, I think I will try to go back to Japan. And I didn't want to go back to India then because my parents were like, what are you doing?
Was there a loss of trust from your parents, or did they were they supportive parents, or were they?
They knew that I did whatever I wanted to do. I was like, we are 5 siblings, so I'm straight in the middle.
Oh, you're a middle child of five
kids.
children home.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like have the middle child syndrome. Like I'm not old enough or I'm not young enough, people will forget about me. So that
Always struggling for survival, justifying
yeah,
themselves.
I thought that was very beneficial to me because I didn't stick around and I did whatever I wanted to do, and it played in my benefit, I think.
I see.
And so they had kind of given up on me anyways. So I was married, so that broke up, and it was a taboo thing, divorce.
Absolutely.
So they said, "Don't come home."
Oh, don't show me your face. That kind of a
Yeah,
thing,
like
or
they're
don't come home
embarrassed
now.
that
Okay.
that our daughter is divorced, so don't come home, and then we don't want to tell our aunts and all. So they didn't tell anybody. My mom didn't tell her sisters for 3 years.
Wow.
So
But were they in contact with you? They would have
oh yeah,
conversations with you?
after a while, yeah, there's they do all that emotional um, blackmailing and this and that, don't do this, don't that, but in the end they all still love you and accept you. So I didn't go home. I went to Japan, try to make my life there again, but I didn't realize how much Seattle had grown on me for those 3 years. So I made a U-turn and came back to Seattle to start my life again. And I had my green card by then.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, let me go back and see if there's something back there I'm missing. I had the greenery, the beautiful, and I was back in Tokyo, and Tokyo seemed so chaotic.
At
to
that
me.
time, after
Yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah, in that heartbreak and all that. And so I made a U-turn and came back to Seattle right before 9/11, 2001, September 11th. I come back. I thought, okay, I'll go into find a job in computers or something. I'm just trying different things. And 9/11 happens. And I get yelled on the street while I'm walking down from my work. I was working in a computer company. And somebody yells at me, go back to your fucking country. I was like, no, you go back to your fucking country. So, but that moment kind of, I know it happens so much to first generation kids when they grew up in 80s. There was so much racism, and I'm not saying it was such a huge attack on me, but it was nevertheless a hate incident for me, which I'd never experienced that kind of hate incident. So that made me question, like, where is home? Where do I belong? And so I made a film on that incident. I said, let me make best friend Farah said, why don't you process this through telling your story or make a film? So yeah, that's a great idea. Of course, film has always been on my back of my mind.
Did she know that? Why would she
Yeah.
suggest film is what my question is?
She may have known that, and she's a Muslim from Hyderabad. She also made a documentary after 9/11, a Muslim woman's perspective, Nazra, a Muslim woman's perspective. So she was in that process. Whether she knew that I loved filmmaking and or not, she said, you also make a film on your incident. So I said, yeah. So I started putting up flyers everywhere. I need a DOP, I need some actors. I wrote a script, and I put a crew together without having any knowledge of how to make a film.
You had no experience. You had never been in a film circle,
never
been
even
on
had a
set.
camera.
Oh, wow.
I don't think we could afford a camera or something, and never had. No, but now I was working in Japan, and yeah, that was different. But never did filmmaking, and so and people start showing up and start writing back to me and say, yes, we want to help you in making this film. So I started doing this table reading, and I did a lot of workshops, and made a short film, Citizenship 101. And then
What was it about?
so it was about this incident. This woman has immigrated and she's feeling a loss of home or belonging, and and where and then she, on top of that, she gets yelled on the street, um, and then it just leaves in that. Uh, it's a open ending.
I see. It's a short film.
It's short
Yeah.
film,
And
11
you were
minutes.
the director?
Huh?
You were the director?
No,
as well?
no, I hired a.
You hired a director for it.
Actually, I did direct. Yeah, I did direct.
You
yeah.
directed it.
So maybe because I'm thinking because the cinematographer was helping me a lot in directing,
I
so I
see.
said, yeah, I directed it. And funny thing is, some people who worked on that film got into NYU because there's some young student. They came to help me. And Sunita Prasad, she got into NYU Tisch School, and she's a big filmmaker now. And I said, look, you worked on my...
Wow, that was a stepping stone.
yeah, like a sound
Interesting.
designer.
So what did you do after the film was made?
After that, I loved that process so much. I enrolled myself at Bellevue Community College.
I see.
Advanced
Interesting. But what
video.
did you do with the film? Where did you feature
Oh,
it? How did you show it to the people?
I sent it to film festivals. It was a very amateur film. Um, I I was also very shy to show it, but at the same time, I was sending it to festivals, but it didn't get into any place.
I see.
So then so that's the genesis of creating Tasveer. I said, you don't want to show it? Let me create a platform to show our film, like Nazra and Citizenship 101.
So Farah and you were
The
the
co-founder.
co-founders of Tasveer back then.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We both, 9/11 had happened, and we said we have to do something. Others may be going through similar turmoil and sadness, or there was a lot of hate then, and xenophobia, Islamophobia, homophobia. So why don't we start showing films on those topics and curate dialogues around those films? And so we start showing not our films, but we start bringing films on different topics. Back then was we started about women topics and Muslim topics and LGBTQI topics, and then religious strife were happening. So we brought those Ram K. Naam and few other Anand Patwardhan's film, and we would curate dialogues.
So all the marginalized
Yes.
communities or
Yeah.
underrepresented stories or of people.
Yeah.
And walk me through the process, like for two ladies who have nothing to do with filmmaking, come out with two fantastic short films in
Yeah.
the first go.
Hers
and then
was
you-
a feature.
Oh, hers was a
documentary.
feature. And she was a first-time filmmaker as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is fantastic. And then how did you guys take it to the next level then?
So for her, that was it. She didn't become a filmmaker.
After
or,
that,
Yeah,
okay.
she was a...
One and
yeah.
Okay.
And then her film did get distributed through some, what is it called? Arab film distribution. They picked it up and sent it to many colleges, schools and colleges. It did really well. She would get her check regularly. Mine didn't. I put it up on YouTube, but unpublished it. Didn't share it that much with anybody, even though I'm shy. But I'm proud of the film. It made me who I am. Yeah.
wow. And then next year you were like, okay, this is Tasveer Film Festival. Is that how it happened directly?
No.
Or it was a step-by-step process?
Yeah, we didn't know what a festival is, what a organization is, what a grant is, what is what. No business background, nothing. It's just the passion for the action, how to alleviate hate, what to do to serve people and community, what can we do to help the community, what they might be
So
going.
pure mission and action-driven
Yeah.
story here.
So we said, okay, let's gather people. And we believe that when people come under one roof and share ideas and share their stories, there is a healing that takes place. And we strongly believe in that. And the way to bring people together is to show a film and invite. Back then, there was no social media in 2002. We would call people or email and said, "We are showing this film. Come." It would and have a discussion around it. That was our whole goal. The mission was to, our mission is inspire social change through films, arts, and storytelling. And we adhere to that so strongly and just go all that. So from after that, we just one film at a time. Then in 2004, 2 years later, Farah said she wanted to do a film festival, and we started the ISAP, International South Asian Film Festival, Independent South Asian Film Festival, ISAP. That's what we used to call it. And we coined our organization Tasveer. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what was the most pivotal moment in the last couple of decades for Tasveer? Now you guys are affiliated with the only Southeast Asian film festival.
South Asian.
South Asian, my
Yeah.
bad. South Asian film festival that is Oscar
Yeah.
affiliated, and you have big distribution streaming companies that are partnering to fund movies as well, like Netflix and other companies as well. Though, in your opinion, in your journey, what was the most pivotal moment that made Tasveer who it is today?
So Tasveer has two lives. So the first life is when 2004 till 2009 up till. That was one part where we were doing it purely volunteer basis, and I would have a full-time job, and I started working in TV stations and as a TV producer, and then I would work on Tasveer on the side. And other people had kind of left. Like, I was the only one doing Tasveer. After a few years, others have left. Farah had also moved to Albuquerque to pursue her degree. So 2000, then I thought, perhaps this is not the right thing to do. Let me close it. In 2010, I kind of didn't do anything. But it never left me. And I said, okay, one more festival. So 2011, I did one more festival at Seattle Center where Dipti Naval and many big filmmakers and actors came, and it was a great festival. I said, okay, with this big bang, I close it. So I closed it one more time. And then I was like working at Microsoft at that time as a video vendor. And I walked out of that one day. I'm like always thinking about Tasveer, like, oh, I missed it because I didn't do the year before. So I just marched forth around 1 p.m. I'd like say I'm going home, and I came home, and it was the resignation I gave. And then I said, from this day on, all I will do is Tasveer. And I talked to City of Redmond. I said, can you give me a little office space? So I wanted to pretend that it's a very formal organization, and I'm the ED. I coined myself Executive Director. It took me such a long time for imposter syndrome, calling myself ED. I would be very shy to say I'm the ED. But so I will go and sit there. It would be table this much, and the room would be barely this much, 4x4 or something, or 6x6. And then the one volunteer would sit on the other side, and I will sit on the one side, and we will just do emails all day, writing to filmmakers like we are starting back it up, and we will start the film festival again, and start writing to everyone that we are starting back up. And that was Tasveer 2.0, which I started alone, and I made it into a 501c3, which was not done before, a fully nonprofit. I put together a board. So I did everything as it was supposed to a formal organization should be, a 501c3 should be. And and since then we haven't turned back. It's been only good stuff. So that slowly and steadily, now we are the leading South Asian film festival in the world, and we are the only Oscar qualifying South Asian film festival in the world, which means now a South Asian film is guaranteed to get into the Oscar run.
Nomination category.
Before it wasn't, because they had to chase Cannes or Tribeca or Sundance, and there's like 6,000 films, and maybe one film will get selected that could be possibly be South Asian. But now we are making sure it's guaranteed one film goes into every year from our North America diaspora, goes into the Oscar run. And then during the pandemic, when 2020, all these artists were hurting, and we started the grant then, the $5,000 grant, really small. So, and that was from our own pocket. We said, okay, we will give one filmmaker to make their short film, $5,000.
I see.
That was coming out with the help of a time machine with Karan Soni. And that film did amazing. That is our success story. Went into so many 70 festivals and stuff. So, and the following year, I was talking to someone at Netflix. I said, do you want to support us? We are doing this. I said, sure. And they, from that $5,000, now it's $35,000 per short film and 4 projects. So we give about $140,000 every year.
Wow. Congratulations. Coming from a place where you faced a hate incident which inspired you to make a movie of your own without any experience, then running it for a few years, shutting it down, then realizing that is exactly what you want to do in your life, giving everything that you had to it, and coming to a point where you are literally making or paving path for South Asian movies to go to the highest level of honor in filmmaking. How does that make you feel?
Good thing is things don't get to my head, but I'm proud. I'm very proud of it.
Please go ahead, sorry.
No, I just never think, I always think it will work out.
Absolutely.
Something good will happen.
You've always been an optimistic person. You have this optimistic streak to yourself.
Very, very. I think it's because coming from a small family and survival of the fittest.
Yeah. They say, right, when you have nothing, you have optimism.
Yeah.
So you're such a great example of that. Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
I have so many burning questions, maybe a rapid fire. Quickly. So you mentioned in 2010 when you wanted to do this big bang go away and you invited Dipti Naval and all those folks that came. How did you manage in this journey where you had very little experience? What helped you or who helped you in building slowly towards what we are today?
I think my whole thing is, it may sound cheesy, but say, what can I do? What is not available in the community and what's missing? And then what can I do to fill that gap? It's always been, I don't know why I think about it a lot. It's automatically, even I'm not trying, but I get a lot of ideas all the time. And then when we didn't have enough money, but I went and raised some money and wrote some. By then, we knew how to write grants and stuff and some sponsorship. So we said, and that the moment I start thinking I'm organizing this film festival excites me a lot, and then my passion just kicks in. And I actually, my family do say I work a lot.
Okay.
Don't get turned off like at 6 o'clock not turn, and so I may be doing secretly texting somebody or emailing somebody. In the evening I'm talking to someone in India or South Asia. Daytime I'm working here. So it's a lot of there's a lot of hard work,
Yeah.
of hard work.
And resilience and grit is one thing that is
Yeah.
very obvious from your stories and how much I know you. I also wanted to know how
Question.
would you deal with roadblocks where you are lacking experience and you don't know how to deal with it. Would you just move on and find another way,
Yeah.
or would you seek help from mentors or community and things like that?
I always seek help. I think everything that we do takes a village to create something, and we can't work in silos. There's a lot of collaboration, a lot of friends who are behind it. I didn't build this alone. If I had not, I had taken so much help from everybody. Farah was always there, emotionally available. My husband, my family, they are always there to support me. Um, the any question right now, I'm building something new again, and then I'm like talking. I have let go of that hesitation that if I ask wrong question and embarrassment. I used to be a little bit hesitant about asking questions. Now I'm very bold about it. I go and ask them, how is it done? How do you raise this money? Because I'm producing nowadays, so I'm learning that. I said, I want to learn it without going to school and spending tons of money.
I see.
So I'm asking a lot of people questions.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing. You've
Yeah.
also been an editor yourself. You went to school for editing.
Yeah, Bellevue
What
College.
year was that?
That was 2004 or 5.
Okay, so right after your first short film,
Yeah.
that inspired you to go to.
I gave it to somebody to edit it, and then I
Oh,
wasn't
that's
like
how you become an editor.
I said, no, do this. Oh, this person is not doing it. I let me do it. So I went and taught myself, and on Final Cut Pro, then Adobe Premiere Pro, Avid, I learned all those. I even taught editing.
Editing.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you work for Como as well, ABC affiliated
Yeah.
channel here in Seattle. What did you
Yeah.
do for them?
I was a production assistant.
Okay, what does a production assistant do?
Getting their news ready, news production ready, setting up the teleprompter, the camera. We will come in the morning, making sure all that is ready. I was like a starting out, so very
I see.
lower in the
Ranks
ladder.
there,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
But then you were trained on the job to do
Yeah.
that? Did that help you in your line of business that you're in now?
Yes, it made me see a different kind of like that was the beginning of professional cameras. We will go and shoot some news bites, something happening in the community, some news. So they will let me come with them and help them production assistant. It was cool to see all the big cameras and how they in 2-3 people crew. The production vans was cool. We would go to people's houses and shoot something for the news. So all these different things, everything adds up in the life, whatever you have done. And so yeah, this is fascinating. I will always want to be like in movies or films.
Were you deliberate with your experimentations? Like, of all the jobs you could do, why did you pick to do that job which would help you as a filmmaker, producer, or a film festival ED?
I think maybe it's because I'm thinking and then it's leading me to, like, I was the only one or two lucky ones who got into Como after doing the Bellevue production. And
so it was through your editing school?
It was the video production program at
I see.
Bellevue College.
I see.
And they pick some interns for their different places. So I picked, somebody picked something, but I picked, I want to work at the Como 4. So that would give me exposure to production and all that. And whether I'm trying or not, it just happened. I can't remember. And I think I'm lucky. I call myself very lucky also. When I'm thinking something else, I also start seeing things happening around me.
Yeah.
So
you can envision how what you're doing right now can help in the future for what your main goal is.
yeah.
So your goals are always in your head,
Yes.
very much active.
Yeah, I
Right.
write them down too.
It's important, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. That's a tool that I would like to share with my audiences, because as jack of alls, I believe that um, people in general, I believe that
Yeah.
humans are capable of anything that they put their mind to,
Yeah.
and they can do multiple things. It just requires practice and
Yeah, the biggest
devotion.
biggest one is like I was always writing that one day we will own a theater. And
You
not
did
trying,
that.
and I did not trying to like drop that example and to show off, but that I used to write that. Like one day we will own a theater for Tasveer, and lo and behold, and I say, here's a theater. We were just sitting there, and I get a call from King County, says a theater is coming up for sale. Are you interested? I say, yes, Maya, I'm very interested. I've been trying that for 15 years, but I have no money to buy it. I say, it's only $3 million. I said, yeah, that's a very good price. I said, why don't you apply to this grant? And I knew about the grant. I was focusing on the grant for a while, but I had decided I wasn't going to apply to the grant because I didn't have a property, site control, right? So I'm looking at the grant, and I get a call or an email, just one liner. This building is up for sale, and the grant is due in 3 days. And people prepare for these $1 million grants for months. A lot of work that goes in.
The groundwork goes in. You
Yeah.
have to show that
Yeah.
you can do something with the grant, is
Yeah.
it? Can you share more about it? Like, how
Yeah.
does that work?
Yeah. So, well, we also have like a 20 years of history of serving the community, so
100%.
that counts. So when I wasn't thinking, I mean, the grant is there when Maya is saying from For Culture, like, go, there's a place available to buy. She's not telling me about the grant. She's telling me about the theater. I said, oh, this grant. It's due in 3 days. Let me apply. And it was so much groundwork for that. There was, we had to I had to find a real estate agent, commercial real estate agent, get the LOI, letter of intent, and then
A good attorney, maybe?
yeah, I don't think we needed an attorney.
Oh,
But the real estate agent who was my friend, he had an attorney, so that worked out. And I had called everyone I knew, the consultants. I said, we are applying for this grant. I know it's the weekend, it's the Labor Day weekend, and I'm disturbing you. Would you give me 10 minutes to talk to me? And I want to apply. We want to be successful. And could you? And they all know about Tasveer, and they know about my determination in finding somewhere in the last 15 years I have probably talked to them about this desire. So they say, yeah, of course. So everyone gave me time. I talked to everyone, and no matter how much, whatever people say about ChatGPT, that really helped to write that grant. So, but I always put everything on a paper and how I feel, what I'm saying, and that narrative really kicked
that
really
is
well.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And you got the grant.
We got the highest grant, 2.26 million grant as ever in the history of For Culture, any arts organization to get that.
What grant was that?
It's Doors Open.
Doors Open.
And it's a unprecedented grant that it was only going to be one time, $96 million that they were giving to arts organizations. And there was Seattle Aquarium, which we considered the science and zoo science. And then the next one was Tasveer. Seattle Aquarium got 3.1, and we got 2.26, the arts organization.
Congratulations. That is a dream come true, and something that is really, really hard and once in a lifetime.
You won't believe, I was in New York. Everyone knows about it. Anywhere I go, people know about it, that we have secured a theater for the South Asian community in this corner of country. And they said people will come up to me and say, we know about this news, and we feel we have a home in Seattle where we can come and show our films. So many people, they're just so proud of me and Tasveer, and now, and they are also saying now Seattle won't be known for anything else for them. It's just going to be Tasveer, and they're just talking about it at Tribeca. There were
Tribeca Film Festival. Okay, wow, that's
so
that's amazing. Congratulations. Was that grant enough for you to get the theater, or you had to
there's a
juggle more?
little remnant of the 2.8 million. We negotiated down 200 or 300
I
is
see.
left, and it's on a very small monthly thing,
I
which
see.
is way below. If we rent a theater like that, it would be $10,000-$15,000 a
It's how many?
month.
3 screens
It's 3 screens.
and seats. How many seats?
Total 487. One screen has 200 something, then one has 100, then another one is 87.
Wow, this is huge.
And a beautiful room where you could do different things, reception or music or open mic. Like, it's a beautiful historic building made in 1923, so almost 100 years,
Wow.
and old wood, and just beautiful. You all have to come
Absolutely, yeah. I'd be. That's what I was going to say. My production company, after 20 years, we made a Telugu film entirely in the US, and we showed it across 150 theaters in the world, India and USA
Wow.
included. My wife was the lead. I was one of the leads as well. We were co-producers on the movie as well. But unfortunately, we couldn't screen the movie in Seattle
Wow.
because the US distributors thought that Seattle was not a good market for that movie.
Wow, there's a big
Yes,
Telugu community.
absolutely. So I think that's probably the next thing that I want to talk about
Yeah.
you. And my production is working very hard, diligently at our level to solve this problem for the Indian diaspora,
Yeah.
especially, at least from
Yeah,
to
yeah.
start with. The movie was entirely made in Portland, Oregon, in Mount Hood. And
Wow.
then we couldn't distribute in Oregon and Washington. These were the two states we couldn't.
Wow.
And what a shame for that
What
movie.
a
Right now,
shame.
it's on a streaming platform. We are working with Amazon and other streaming companies to stream it.
Yeah.
But in the future, my company wants to be able to represent movies that can be shown
Yeah.
in Washington if they
Yeah.
are at
Yeah,
least
let's
if they're
work
not.
on it.
Yeah.
Because that's the reason I started the market last year. My whole thing was to fix the broken system of distribution and how to crack the code on it, and
Yeah.
what
So
can
how
we
does this help? How are you going to? What is the model?
So we will our theater will become part of the distribution system, and any studio that releases films, we will be taking films based on our desire. So we are going to do independent South Asian films, and that's our goal, because we want to uplift South Asian films. And we have 3 screens. One could be world cinema, one could be dedicated South Asian cinema, one could be flexible. So that's what we are thinking right now. And we are working on all that registration and stuff, and
I see.
getting it.
And will you work with established distributors in the USA, or this will be completely independent, like a film festival where someone could apply directly to Tasveer and request for a show run?
There will be all mixed.
Mixed. Okay.
Because there are 3 screens. One,
Right.
we are keeping it open so that if somebody wants to come and show a film, they can do that. And one will be by the distribution studios, and 1 or 2. So, but we also need to renovate the building a little bit because it's old, though it's charming. There's no wheelchair access. So
I see.
we're going to do a $14 million capital campaign to
Wow.
renovate and make it the most updated, modern, state-of-the-art theater in the world, where people are coming from all over the world to watch films and
I'm excited.
attended
I'm
the film
excited to be
festival.
part of Seattle, and I'm excited to be
Okay.
part of the future journey of
Yes.
Tasveer as well
Thank
with
you.
that. And I hope we build a more infrastructure and for this platform for us to tell our stories.
Yeah.
A lot of my filmmaker folks in India that I work with, I directly invest with,
Mm-hmm.
are concerned about their representation in the USA. It's getting harder, not just for independent films, but also for films in general. So I wanted to ask you, maybe take another angle.
Yeah.
Everybody is calling this like, oh, films are like now a dying medium of storytelling, etc. It's easy to comment from the sidelines. I wanted to understand from you what is that you are seeing.
Mm-hmm.
How is all of this going to change, if it is going to,
Mm-hmm.
and what will be the impact of short attention span creators and content and media that is taking over films, and all the existing confusion in the film industry right now as to what is the right movie.
I don't think it will go away ever because we haven't seen any shortage of films coming through our film festival. When we opened up the submission call, people are still making films. Uh, uh, yeah, there is, like last year when we launched the market, we thought, okay, we will get some 50 projects for the film market. Those will get made into feature film. We got 287 projects, and we had to have like 60 projects that pitched. We thought we will have 10 projects that will pitch. I think there is still a lot of hunger and desire to make the films. Yes, the distribution model has to be fixed. When Sean Baker, director of Honora, pulled out his piece of paper and urging people to go back to theaters to watch films and with family and friends, it means something. People are starting to realize that they have to release their films in the theater. There are more and more movement on that, where people are urging, when a filmmaker is finishing their film, to get, instead of sending straight to streaming network, to send it to theaters first and let it run in theaters a little bit. We have to break up that.
And streaming
monopoly
journey
of it.
itself is not easy, right?
Yeah.
It's not just like you upload it on YouTube. You can't put an independent movie on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
There's another hurdle that an independent movie maker or a producer would go through to do that. Are you also planning to integrate like distributors or streaming companies like Netflix and Amazon Prime here in your network, so that the films that are being made through Tasveer or that fund would get consideration to streaming companies after they have done their theatrical run?
Sorry, what do you mean, the last part?
Once a independent movie has had its theatrical run, they would look for more audiences to watch it on a streaming platform.
Yeah.
So are you also planning to partner with Netflix and Amazon and likes of those two?
Yeah, they're already partners. They've been coming. Amazon MGM came last year. NBC Universal came. So they looked at few films to acquire it. So it's
in the process.
Yeah, it's always been. They always ask us to send all the films that we show at the festival, to send it to them, so they take a look at it. So
I see.
we've been working on that, but more and more in last few years, I've been thinking how does this theater business works, and people should watch it on big screens, and
Interesting. I'm also seeing a trend which is very minimal at this point of time when you consider the percentage of movies that are being made with AI, and people are interested in using AI to tell their story. It's not about making AI make their movie, but using AI as a tool to tell their story.
Yeah.
maybe for many reasons. One, they like that medium of storytelling.
Yeah.
Two, they do not know how to deal with humans and equipments and technology, just like you did
Yeah.
10, 20 years ago, where you had no idea what a camera was or no idea what a director or DOP does. Would film festivals or are film festivals like Tasveer considering adding a category for AI made films as well? How are you dealing with that influx of new filmmakers?
As a matter of fact, few films those were made on AI were submitted, but there we could see some errors in there, like one man had 6 fingers and something. uh, I I don't fight it. I don't fight AI. I think we should use it to make our things better. And I believe in using it. I'm a hustler and I like to use tools that could save time of my day. And yeah, it's a longer conversation and panels could go on forever. But we are not there yet where we are picking films made on AI. So that film promptly got rejected, and we had not put in any categories yet. But I think next year we will be putting that category. If your film is made through some AI tools, please, you have to announce it, put it on.
You have to put a disclaimer that it is made with AI. Why not just have a category where someone could use AI at any percentage, maybe 10%, 50% is made with AI?
I think we will. But I don't think there are that many yet. But maybe next year there will be.
Yeah, because I was watching this discourse on YouTube where a very intelligent person with more experience than myself was sharing that the margin for commercial profitability for a film is inversely proportional to the screen or size on which it is shown. So the bigger your screen gets, the more expensive the movie making process gets, right? To make a feature film, which is 70 and different kind of technologies to be used there, it becomes more and more expensive. So to save production costs so that you can keep on continuing to practice your craft as a filmmaker, it will be a future where people will start engaging with AI and leveraging it to build elements that are very expensive but not necessarily super important to the story. For example, establishing shots. For example, showing a plane crash or showing a car crash. It's just so expensive for an independent filmmaker. But if AI and tools like that come to a point where a filmmaker may be seamlessly integrated into their film without showing the 6th finger, probably that would be a future that we might be going towards. What is your view on this?
I agree. Yeah, I think if something that could help and support filmmakers to filmmakers who are starting out and they don't have the exact production budget or something that could support the system. But it's a very touchy topic for some filmmakers to say, no, we don't want to do that. We want to shoot. I was just talking to some filmmakers in Tribeca. There are options where if they could bring a film production to a certain state, they get 50% tax break and they rebate. And they're like, no, we want to make it in this place because it's more authentic and there's no rebate. So they're spending extra money, but I think he's a very new filmmaker, very passionate right now, not burnt yet. Like, what? It's like there's AI to make you feel that you're in this. If you're not in Texas, you're in Texas by coming and shooting in Wenatchee or something, right? Where they have extra 15% tax break if you shoot in rural areas. So it's 65% money you get back. But it's all different kind of what your thinking and
Your desire, your
Desire.
appetite is, and
yeah, how young you are.
Exactly, yeah. I was like that until I got slapped across my face by the commercial hand after making the movie. So all my future decisions are going to be based on my previous experiences of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But this was super uh, interesting to sit across someone who has a seat at the table, someone who sees what is going on in the world of filmmaking, not in just in the commercial world, but also how independent filmmakers are choosing
Yeah.
to make their films. What an inspiring journey you've had,
Thank you.
Rita. Thank you so much for coming on this show and sharing it with my audience as well. And I hope that the film community sees this and gets inspired and then leverages everything that you and I are building together to be
Yes.
able to, make maybe Seattle the next hub of
Yes.
South Asian filmmaking and many more.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and I gave that speech on the stage when I was accepting Mayor's Award. I said, this is the city where every film will find its home. And there's so many festivals. Now we have theater. Now there's all these different tools we are figuring out, the market. So it will find its home.
Beautiful. As a closing note,
Yes.
to all our listeners and watchers, especially filmmakers and jack of alls, what would be your message for them to be successful or be happy?
Thank you. That's a very good question. I always think about this question. I think it's persevering. Don't get scared. Just take one step ahead of the other. Just keep going.
Thank you so much. This
Thank
is
you.
very inspiring, and thanks so much for sharing your story as well.
Thank you.
And
Adi.
congratulations and best of luck to Tasveer.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And this is Jack of All. See you next week. I am Adi Naidu, and we'll be back with another amazing life journey to share just like Rita's. Bye-bye.